It's your boy, Triple Black, aka the number one stunner, aka the boss, aka three black purses. It's murder. You already know what it is, man. I wanted to get up on here and do a video response to Kevin Samuels. Also get some exercise out here too. It's a beautiful night. It's a little cold, for Florida or whatever, but it's a beautiful night, man. But anyways, you guys saw the title of the video, and it's crazy when I started watching Kevin Samuels about 4 or 5 months ago. Uh, Maybe it was longer than that. I watched a lot of his videos, and I knew sooner or later he was going to blow up. Just because of his style, the way that he takes his approach, and just the whole, you know, the way the format of his show and how he does the show. He gives you the blood honest truth. Sometimes I mean he does it in a very, respectable way, in my opinion. You know, uh, a lot of people like me probably wouldn't use a lot of tact when it comes to, being brutally honest with these females, and a lot of people are are, you know, have the notion like they can't understand why these women would call up a show just to get cooked. I mean, it's apparent. You know, um, you know how like some people um, they thrive in chaos, they thrive in dysfunction, they thrive in delusion. I think a lot of black women do that, and the reason is if you look at the statistics, and I'm not just throwing shots at it. If you look at the statistics, those statistics are very scary. You know, um, you know, single mother, single motherhood. I mean, we beat this term or this concept. We beat it up big time. But 72% of them are single mothers, and have coming up in a single mother household is very dysfunctional, and a lot of delusion has to be sold. So it's only normal that they live and thrive in this dysfunction. When Kevin Samuels was hitting the lady over the head, I mean that's probably not as bad as her baby daddy has hit her over the head with facts. You know, they're used to being in toxic relationships, and a lot of times uh, it's just in their nature. They love it. They strictly love it. They love the attention. You know, um, Sometimes they say, what is it? All attention is good attention, or whatever that saying is. Is like they love that shit. I mean, the thing about it is, it's likes, follows, engagements, comments. All that shit is addictive. They love that shit. And dysfunction and delusion is something that they're right at home, and it's just a normal thing. I was you know in a relationship with a black woman. I was raised, my dad was there too, but I was raised in a black household. But you know, my mom, she was very submissive, but she came, she could be delusional at times, but I grew up in a very traditional household and stuff like that. It wasn't like baby mamaism and all that type of stuff, but uh, I grew up a lot of my friends, a lot of my neighbors, a lot of people I went to school with, a lot of the chicks that I know now, they live in this shit. Um, you know, it's just like, think about it. You ever wonder to yourself how you have these chicks that have like, they have five baby daddies or four baby daddies or three baby daddies and all that type of stuff. How does that shit happen? Because the thing about it is, and then they do it over and over and over and over and expect a different result. It's because they are ingrained in dysfunction and delusion. They love that shit. You know, don't like. There's no way. Like, for instance, uh, I'm 40 years old, and I had one situation to where couldn't pay me to, you know, to get in that situation again. You couldn't pay me to do it. Couldn't. I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson. I mean, it was later in life. You know, I mean, I won't date no single mother. I mean, I won't marry. I probably won't marry again, especially in this environment. But you'll have, you know, 10 women lining up to for every one of me. You'll have 10 women lining up to do it. You feel me? After they've had toxic relationship after toxic relationship, child after child. You know, just all kinds of fucking dysfunction. This shit is crazy. They're like for instance, when if you ever get a chance to see like like one of those prison guys, like a bunch of prison dudes go go live like from a prison, and I mean, there's like women lining up to mess with them. Women lining up. They can't. I mean, these are women with good jobs, women with good careers, women, reputable women. And the funniest, one of my buddies was saying that, man, you wouldn't believe some like visitation day in the prison, how many people show up, like how many women. It's just like woman after woman after woman after woman lining up for these guys. And then you'll have like a guy. 53%. What was that? 53% of black men in this country, 53, some in the high, I mean, in the low 50s, are single and childless, right? You'll have an inmate that probably have about 3 or 4 broads incarcerated, facing 10, 15 years. How's that shit happen? You know, it's because a lot of times, when they're in prison, they're selling dysfunction, they're selling delusion, and a lot of women, they they eat that shit up. It's just insatiable. They have an insatiable appetite for it. You know, it's like you'll have a rapper come through a city, and one of the chicks, the hottest chick over there, will be messing with the rapper, but for some reason, she thinks that she'll be the one. She'll be the exception to the rule, even though he got a hoe in every city. She feels like she's gonna be the one that he saves or he commits to. It happens over and over, you know, and it's like they seen Kevin Samuels cook all these women night after night, night after night, night after night, and then you're like, wow, he's cooking these people. Like you would think that they would be afraid for him. Like it's like you ever seen a person like they have a burning house, you see a burning building, and then they see the building is burning, and they still want to run in that bitch. They still want to run into it. Like you'll have this. He'll ask this questions, and they'll be like, "How tall are you?" "Oh, 5'5". "And how much you weigh?" About 250 pounds. But what? But oh, then no, and they'll be like, no, 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 you just don't qualify. But every night, someone tries it. Someone tries it, and it never works. But that's why I say that they're ingrained in this delusion. They love it, dysfunction. You think about it. You have um, you have they grow up in single mother households. Their father wasn't there. If they have a halfway decent looking mom, she's had dudes in and out of there. She might have had a high value man. She probably had plenty of D boys. If she looked good, she's probably had dope dealers or whatever until they go to jail. Then she might have messed around and got a city worker that makes a high income or whatever. But chances are she was probably his side bitch or whatever. He come through every weekend, take her on trips or whatever. They have that type of shit. You play stepdaddy for about a couple years, you know, everything is gravy. They're in and out. You got all these dudes in and out their life. So they don't know any better. They don't know any better. But for some reason, they think that there's a rainbow, and on the other side of that rainbow, there's going to be a pot of gold that they're going to be able to cash in on. So you'll have that shit over and over. Like my response to that one video, that chick, I mean, she's not a bad looking woman. I mean, I'm sure, she said, by my body or whatever, I'm sure she's, I mean, if you probably go on her Instagram or whatever, she's probably, you know, one of those Instagram girls with, you know, fake assets and all this type of stuff. You can tell, especially if she's making that much money. But you know what? What's crazy about her is, growing up in, whatever, uh, there are a dime a dozen. You see them all the time. I mean, I can already make some inferences about her. She runs a daycare, doggy daycare. You know, I mean, and then her baby daddy was sketchy. Yeah, I get it. She was talking about that she was not she's she wants to date somebody that's not interested in her business or become her business partner, whatever. I put money on it. However she started that business, it was probably due to somebody else starting that business with illegal activity or whatever. And the thing about it is like some of those type of broads, they head big. They'll have a D boy or whatever, have a daycare, and I mean that's just for another time. But you guys know what I'm talking about. But um, she's probably had many of them. And when Kevin asked her the question about her child's father, um, I will probably put money on it. He's probably incarcerated. Probably, most likely incarcerated, or he got a whole bunch of other kids. Most likely, and uh, that's the prototype for that type, bro. You know, she's probably she wants to be graduated up to main chick status, but she doesn't want to give up the lifestyle either. That's hard for her. She makes 6 figures doing her business. She's probably has somebody, you know, um, somebody probably in their age group, her baby daddy or whatever. He probably got a little bit of paper, buys her bags, takes her on trips, or gives her extra money or whatever. Or she probably fucking a bum on the side too. Most likely, because she was talking about she got dudes asking her, can they be in her business and stuff like that. Most likely, she's probably banging, a couple bums, and she wants to graduate. She wants to graduate. Instead of dating, old Larry, with a, $80,000 job, good pension, and all this type of stuff. She still wants the baby. You know, she still wants the baby, or she wants Shamar Moore, or who else? The Ghost. She wants to date Ghost or some shit. A legit business or whatever. You can just tell her type. But that's the delusional thing about it. It's like, um, you know, I mean, let's look who she really qualifies for. And I'm not saying at all that she couldn't get like a high income income dude, but it's probably gonna be some older dude. And a lot of times with the older dudes, in the 50s and shit, I mean, she's just probably gonna be part of the team, part of the rotation. I mean, it is what it is. Or it's gonna be somebody that, I mean, and you can already tell, by her, she's not gonna date, Chris from IT, or one of those. She's not she may, you know, qualify to be a bedwinch maybe, but she don't want that. She if she goes swirling, she's probably not gonna be number one. You know, it's I mean it's very sad. If she were to, she can probably pull somebody decent, a decent dude, but normal is not good enough. And she expressed that shit a couple of times. Normal is not good enough. It's not good enough, and it's crazy. It's just crazy the whole notion that you can be 35, and she even said it herself. She was average looking. She didn't put that number out there. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Somebody might think she's a dime, whatever, but that's what she put. But the whole concept of she can be average looking, but because she makes money, she deserves, you know, a millionaire. I mean, you deserve who you negotiate. I mean, if she put her her best foot forward, she could probably find some dude. It might not be her first choice. It might not be her first choice. She would love, to have a thug in a suit, whatever. That's just what it is. But a thug in a suit is not going to give you the same gratification that you were looking for. And it looks like she was looking for. She wants, like, I don't know. I don't know what she wants. I don't really know her, but the way that she was talking, she was full of delusions of grandeur, just dysfunction, and plus you can tell that she craved that dysfunction. Because the moment that he was critical of her, she got on the phone, she started smiling, acting like she wasn't listening, and doing all that type of stuff. You can tell that. You can tell that she's probably used to being in a toxic relationship. Because I'll give it to her. She took it like a soldier. I mean, she took it like a soldier. Normally, you'll get a lot of arguing and going back and forth. What's good, man? King Dorian, man. Nothing much, man. Just reviewing this Kevin Samuels video, man, that's going viral. I knew sooner or later this man was going to be a star. I know some network or somebody like that is going to pick him up, and you'll see him on the national scene. Because one thing that we do like in Black culture, we love drama, and we love to see a car crash, a good car crash. We love that shit. And a lot of times, our people love that shit too. Like Love and Hip Hop. Love and Hip Hop is a perfect example of a nightly car crash. A nightly car crash, and it's just so addicting. Like groupies were rappers, and then the groupie and the rapper knows that he can never stay committed. For some reason, the rapper wants to attempt to get married or whatever, some type of relationship or whatever. And they're always like, and then somehow, the rapper will be doing good or whatever. And then like his wife will find out about his side hoe, and then the side hoe and the wife start fighting. I mean, it's just that dysfunction is very addicting, and people love it. And that's the same thing with Kevin Samuels show. Kevin Samuels, they love that dysfunction. They love that that's just the degenerate, just the degenerate behavior. They just it seems like people can't get enough of it. And I don't know why people were surprised. There's like a whole bunch of critiques and stuff like that. And in the in the in in the funniest ones that were critiquing it, it was like the Cynthia G's, the Normal Suspects, the Christian Carolines, or whoever, like the sisterhood, and they're the main ones that perpetuate this ignorance. Like they perpetuate this ignorance, and I think I don't. You know what? I start to question if they even know they're doing it, and like they are like cheerleaders for just dysfunctional behavior. It's like it's just insatiable to them. It's just like they can't help themselves. It's like they can't help themselves. It's like I'm like, why are you putting yourself through this? Why don't you just go and find you a D boy or Tyrone, Chad, or whoever? If you got the money, just take care of his ass and have him dick you down and call it a day. You feel me? Or or be, a rapper or whoever's, side bitch or whatever. You get your fix and whatever and just call it a day. You've been doing it your whole life. Why you want to switch up now? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like every one of them, and they can't stand it. It's like, but they want. What the thing about it is like a lot of them been beaten down so much. They've been beaten down so much, and have taken loss after loss after loss after loss in relationships that they almost want to fuck somebody else's life up. You know, it's a sick thing. It's like you want somebody that has no baggage to take your baggage. You know, a guy that's making, six figures, for some reason, they think that, hey, he's making six figures, you know, he's 6 foot, whatever, and he's, you know, got a jawline or whatever, however they call it, he's a select male or he's an alpha male or whatever. They want that guy to take on baggage when they don't really have to. It's like you go to the airport, a rich guy is like, hey, like the bag dude says, like, you know what? I know, rich guy. Hey, pay me and you carry your own bags. You don't have to. I know you're rich enough to afford it. You can have me do it. But you know what? Hey, you should carry your own bags just because. You know, I'm a PhD. I got a degree, or I make a lot of money, and I don't know. I don't think any amount of truth or reality or whatever is going to change these women's perspective, especially when they have cheerleaders like these women on Facebook. On 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 YouTube. And they got their cheerleaders too. They always used to have a squad of cheerleaders of perpetuating and invalidating the fuckery. It's like it it never ever it never ever like with men. If you're 5 foot, 300 pounds, and you ain't got, and you broke. I mean, how many men are going on YouTube and asking? He's like, hey, I'm 5 foot, 300 pounds, overweight and broke. How can I get a supermodel? Like, you don't really see that. And if you see that, the dude, I mean, like, guys know better. You know better. These chicks really think men care about your degree. Yeah, they do. They do. They really think that men care about their degree. They really think that. That's what I'm saying. It's like they think I mean, like, that's why you'll have like a single mother with 5 kids, and then she's like 46, and she'll finally finish school or whatever, and then she's taking pictures with her grown ass children, and next thing you know, she thinks that now she can fill out that application to get that six-figure guy that's going to go along with her, and it just doesn't happen that way. I mean, it's a sad truth, it's a sad reality, but it is what it is. you know I mean, that's what I'm saying is a lot of them grow up in that dysfunction. They have little traces of delusion. Like, you'll have one of those chicks that she'll grow up with a single mother, and the single mother will be the mayor's side hoe, or like a dope dealer's you know duck off or whatever. And they'll have a lot of money or whatever. They'll have that lifestyle. They'll get a little dose of that lifestyle. Next thing you know, when Pookie or Ray Ray goes to prison, you don't see him no more. Or when the mayor's wife finds out that he's fucking the hood rat up the street, they don't see him no more. So they get like those little doses of dysfunction. and that's all they know. That's all they know. I mean, you. I mean, you turn on the TV and you see Lonnie Love, you know, and everybody's telling Lonnie Love she's beautiful, you know. If you see, these chicks and they're telling them, I mean, you have to. The media's telling them beautiful. The media's telling them they're dimes and tens and whatever. So they believe it too. You know, if how many people are telling Charles Barkley he's he's handsome, or Shaq that he's handsome, without no money. They ain't nobody telling them that. So that's why I think they live in a delusion that in dysfunction that a lot of men don't live in. Now, now, don't get me wrong. Now, some men do believe in this. I mean, they do, grow up in dysfunctional households and have a little dysfunction themselves, but it's not near as the women. It's not near as the women. You'll have a dude that, you know, you'll see a thought twerking on Instagram, and that dude thinks somehow he'll be the exception to the rule. He can turn her into a respectable woman, and it doesn't happen. No way, no how. It will not happen. But there's a lot of dudes that try. You'll see a lot of dudes in the strip club. They'll be dating these broads and think they're going to change. Like somehow they're going to like turn over a new leaf. So you do see that dysfunction with men, but you don't see it as much as women, because I think men have faced enough rejection in their life, especially when you get in, even by the time you're 25, 30, you faced enough rejection, you've seen enough of female nature, you feel to know better that, if she's a hoe, she's gonna be a hoe. That's all she's gonna be. She's never. I mean, she might, clean some dishes, for a year or two, but as soon as she gets back in the club or in her environment of dysfunction, degeneracy, like girls trips or whatever, she's gonna be right back how you met her. It's like, if you met her at the club, she's probably gonna leave you after she goes to the club. But some men live in that dysfunction too, so I can't just put it all on women. But the thing about it is women. I don't think, because most women, they don't really start facing rejection until they get probably a little bit older. Because I mean the I mean dudes will fuck anything. Like, dudes will fuck anything. Seriously, you know. And a lot of times they don't ever really get that rejection until they deal with a dude of means, somebody that's high status, because they can deal with any run of the mill dude if they look good. I mean, even if they're, 5 or 6 or whatever, they'll still get smashed. So, they and I think that over time that allows them to be dysfunctional and delusional. I think that does, because all their life, even if they were mediocre, somebody will have sex with them. I mean, there's a real low threshold of men. I mean, men will have sex with anything, you know. And I think what's happened too is social media has quantified this delusion and dysfunction, because I mean, literally, I mean, there's this dating app that I go on for live streams or whatever. It's called Scout. Like, like you will have like a woman that's, you know, what Kevin Samuels would say would be morbidly obese. And there would be piles of dudes in there giving her validation, giving her attention, in her inbox, sending her gifts, sending her money, all that, you know? I mean, like OnlyFans girls. It's easy. It's easy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't. It doesn't mean like those guys will will marry them or be in relationships with them, but they can get that fix. But every time they get that fix, it becomes their reality. It becomes their reality. I have 100 likes. I have 150 likes. There's 150 people that think I look good. You can't tell me, oh, I'm average. No, what do you mean I'm average? I can't. No, you know what? The thing about it is, it has gotten so bad that if Rasputia went on the internet right now and went on a live stream, there would be some dudes in her inbox telling her she's beautiful, trying to fuck her. Guarantee you. I see this shit every night. Every night. You'll have like a damn like a 2 act like a 10. And she will get all the validations from, decent looking dudes or whatever. Because the lack of it's because the thing about the internet has and social media has created a bunch of little narcissists. It's me, 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 me. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have uh, dating apps, we have filters. So basically, you can create whatever you like. So, I mean, if you're fat, you want to be skinny, guess what? There's a filter for that. If you're dark skinned and you want to be light, guess what? There's a filter for that. So you can wake up and look however you want to be. If somebody tells you something, guess what? You can change that. You can you can change that whole perception. It's not going to change reality, but you can change that whole perception. It's like when it's crazy when guys get catfished and you've been catfished before. Oh my God! It's like, why are you surprised? it's like it's nobody like it's like sometimes dudes have to sit there and just talk themselves out of getting catfished. You feel me? They just have to, like, you see a facial picture. Every picture is a picture of her face. Every picture is a picture of her face. Guess what? Guess what? You already know. Come on, man. Oh, like they are the worst. Likes are the worst thing created. Yeah, it is. It is. It's instant validation, and it's instant validation. And there's so many dudes that are willing to give up that instant validation um, uh, instantly. They just don't. They don't care. They just don't care. Like I say, I mean, the the it's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and a lot of women trick themselves into thinking that, and which is true. It's true. I mean, you can't tell what a person don't like. I mean, people fetishize stuff. People, they do a whole bunch of stuff. But the thing about it is it only perpetuates the delusion. It only perpetuates the delusion because um, at the end of the day, um, no matter how much money you make, you know, how much filters you, you have on or whatever, if I don't like you, I'm not going to marry you or I'm not going to date you. I might have a fun time with you, but that's just what it. I mean, that's just it. It's like you can temporarily trick reality, but at the end of the day, you can't really change it. You know, we said nah, but sometimes they got big breasts, so they do face pics. Of course, you know, but some guys will go for that. Some guys go for feet. They go for feet. I mean, it's a fetish. But The girl that that does foot fetish videos, she gets enough likes, she gets enough attention. She really thinks like those tricks that pay money for that shit will marry her or date her, and 9 times out of 10 they wouldn't, because it's only like a temporary, thing. I mean, it's just a fetish. I mean, it's just a little fetish that they have. There are actually a few chicks that I knew, a few chicks like that in the real. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's like, like I mean, it goes on both sides. That guy's in front of that Lambo or that what's the name. A lot of times that's a catfish too. That's even I mean, that's a rented Lambo or somebody else's car. It's um, I think people live in delusion so much that they really start believing it. Because if you can, I mean, if you take all these pictures every day but never meet anybody, nobody ever gets a chance to validate or substantiate what you're really doing or who you are. I mean, you live that, some people live that shit for years, and guess what? I mean, you start to believe that shit too. You know, hey, you start to believe that shit too, man. It's really easy. It's really easy. I mean, think about. I mean, think about it. If I mean, I can't really channel being a woman, but if think about it. If you're a woman and you see, mediocre, you know, Kmart Karen, Kmart Karen all of a sudden goes down to Dominican Republican and gets a new body, and you know, and Kmart Karen's getting all this attention, um, you know, paying for $2,500 or whatever, and shit, what's going to stop you? He's like, I can get all that attention and validation and stuff from men if I go and get this thing too. Come on, man. It's not really. I mean, it's not really my real body, but I can just put whatever whatever I can go there, get the surgery, put on these waist shapers, these body shapers, and all this type of stuff, and I can get, I can be whoever I want to be. I can be a Instafy and get hundreds of followers, and I get people tricks in my cash app, sending me money, and I don't really got to do nothing. It's the new reality, man. That's crazy, man. But you you a few chicks. Hmm. Yeah, man. I've seen that shit way too many times. This shit, it never surprises me when I see it. Like, um, I, but the thing about it is, it's like it's mainly men that's created this shit. Men has created this shit. This shit is it's almost crazy to think about it that a chick can stand in her living room. She can stand in her living room with her iPhone, twerking or whatever, and not doing nothing, not touching, not nothing, just on camera, on FaceTime or on live or whatever, and dudes are sending them money for it. That's it. I mean, that's. I mean, who wouldn't take that deal? Think about it, man. Who would not take that deal? So you can't really knock the hustle. It's like, who would not take that deal? Who would not take that deal? You know, but to me, it's hard to believe it's that lame. Like you have that many lame ass dudes around. I mean, to me, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I mean, don't tell me. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't partake in some degenerate activities, but you know, not I don't go that far. Why do men pay for OnlyFans? They leak. I saw. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's a I don't know. It's just it's like why do men pay for feet? I don't know. I really don't know. It's a question that I don't understand. But you know, it's like but I think it further perpetuates this dysfunction and this delusion that a lot of women have. I mean, it only adds to it because a lot of women, you know, because they're getting all this free attention from men and they're getting compensated for it. Um, a lot of them don't feel like they need to bring anything to the table. They just don't feel like they need to bring anything to the table. And and the thing about it is, I mean, it's not going to stop. You know, with the internet, with feminism and all this type of stuff. With the feminist echo chamber telling some of these women that are like twos, telling them that they're dime pieces, they're only going to get even uh, more dysfunctional, more delusional, because there's reward in it. There's reward in it, and I don't think there's enough simps out there to where they're gonna have an endless supply of free validation and free attention. So why stop? Why stop? You know, and back to the Kevin Samuels video. Um, it it's like for somebody like me, it's not very surprising, because I worked in corporate America, and I grew up, in the projects and stuff like that around you'll have the hood chick, that makes it out. I mean, it's like the same old story, when she's like in her 20s or whatever, she's fucking with, uh, Neo Brown or Pookie or Ray Ray or whatever, one of them. And, she gets knocked up and, you know, she gets in her 30s, she starts progressing a little bit, and then all of a sudden she wants to settle down. But she gets in the settle down years and she'll still think that she can get, Pookie, like she can get like a reformed, she can get Ghost, basically. That's who she wants. She wants Ghost. But she wants Ghost, but she wants a faithful Ghost that doesn't sell drugs, that's not going to prison, that's only with one woman. Uh, that's what they want. That's what they want. And you see, I see this shit all the time. I see this shit all the time. Instead of getting with Larry, that makes 80,000, that has a good job and shit like that, they won't. They just won't do it. I feel Kelvin Samuels berated her because she's dark skinned. Um, you know what? I think that's a straw man argument. I mean, I think that's one of those. It borderlines on shaming tactics. Basically, it borderlines on shaming tactics, and it's like from the Jamel Hill Black Feminist playbook. Like that's what y'all do. Next thing you know, you're gonna say that you think that he berated her because he's gay or some shit. It's like the shaming tactic. That's the same thing. It's like the thing about it is he didn't even berate her. If you think he berated her, watch the show. He took it easy on her. He gave her a chance to tell tell him what she rated herself. She rated herself a 5. And she said with makeup, she can be a 6. He didn't say that. She said that. That's if you think that like Kevin Samuels is a colorist, watch his show before you peg him as one of these guys. Because The light skinned broads, they get it too. They get it too. Sometimes they get it even worse. I've seen him cook a light skinned chick. He cooks them. I mean, the thing about that wound, what that lady started, was self inflicted. You know, she 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 knew. She knew. Just, again, if she didn't know that she had all these red flags and all this type of stuff, she wouldn't have called the show. She wouldn't call the show. She wouldn't have. You know, it's not like, I think he did it as respectable as he could, because the thing about it is like, if he would have just been like, all right, just let her be in all these yeah buts. I mean, what constructive criticism or anything that that she would have got? You know, she's talking about her body. You know, if he let that go, that's the thing. It's like, if he puts on kid gloves with her, knowing the truth, and live in her delusion, like, what good does it do? She knew these things. She knew these things. Come on, man. A 35-year-old single mother. Come on, man. And she rated herself a 5. And he said that's average. I mean, what is berating about the simple concept that average people get with average people? What is the concept? I mean, what is wrong with that, saying that you're average at best? I mean, he's not saying that, women in her position, or her look or whatever, as a collective, is average at best. But most people are. I mean, she said she's a 5. I mean, a 5 is not a dime. She's the one that rated herself that. That's the insanity of it. Okay, it's like, and then he was honest with her. He was like most average women don't usually get with high income earners. And then he also said that, you know what, if they do, it's usually they get with the guy on the way up. You know what, they get with him before he makes all his money, and that's honest. I mean, if you look at Bill Gates, if you look at Jeff Bezos, if Jeff Bezos was rich when he met his wife, I mean, he probably wouldn't have married his wife. He probably married a supermodel right now. He's probably dating like 4 or 5 supermodels. Come on, man. I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's like, I'm an average guy. I make average money or whatever. I'm not exceptional. I don't think I can date Beyonce. Nor would I. I mean, if I would shoot my shot, maybe I can get lucky. But I mean, that's just. I mean, I look like I'm gonna probably date an average. I mean, what is wrong with average? What is wrong with average? And the thing about it is, it's we again. Let me go back to this. We live in a very superficial, delusional world now. Like I said, I can wake up and take a picture and decide that I don't like how I look in that picture, and manipulate it and look however I want to look. If I want to put some muscles on, there's an app for that. If I want to put some abs on, there's an app for that. If I want to put, a goatee on, there's an app for that. I mean, if I want to put a different background, there's an app for that. If I want to putting it in a picture with me in a Lambo, there's an app for that. So you can create whatever reality you want to on social media, but it doesn't defeat the real reality. I mean, if the thing about it is you don't think that lady, you think Kevin Samuels berated her. She's 35 years old. You don't think, how many times do you think that she's been crying on her girlfriend's lap, or her girlfriend's house, drunk or whatever, or whoever, and says she can't find a good man? And those people probably been telling her for years, oh, you can find a good man. Oh, just work on yourself. Just what she was saying, that she worked on herself and all. You got to watch the whole video. Obsidian showed the whole video. It would put way more context to that video, because I think um, when the World Star Hip Hop put it up, they only put like a clip and they edited out a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that in the whole video, the whole conversation, that would put way more proper context to the whole conversation. But it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's but what is sad is some of the pushback that that we're seeing, from some of the talking heads, some of the content creators, and those type of people, is unfounded. It's very unfounded, and I think it's. I mean, a lot of it's clout chasing. It's very clout chasing, because there is there's a lot of money in promoting this dysfunction. There's a lot of money. Like, somebody like Dr. Boyce Watkins. Obsidian said something, and he made a video. And the thing about Boyce Watkins that kind of makes me mad is this guy is very sneaky. He's very passive aggressive. He's very passive aggressive. He takes a little, like, little shots at Kevin Samuels or whatever. And you can see it if you watch his stream. He did it throughout the show. Try to marginalize Kevin Samuels. He did it very subtly, and you can tell. There's a little bit of envy right there, because Kevin Samuels has done something that these guys, in a very short amount of time, that these guys have been trying to do for a long time. They've been trying to do this for a long, long time. Because if you look at the demographic that Kevin Samuels gets to call in his show, those high income earning black women, that is because the thing about them, those people, and I'm gonna put my marketing hat on. And I'm gonna put my marketing hat on because and that is a lot of those guys, even people I respect was taking little shots at him. And you can tell, I watched Dave Anderson. Dave Anderson, he made a good live stream, him and his wife, but he took a couple shots to a couple digs at him. And a lot of those guys are because Kevin Samuels has tapped in to a very marketable bunch of people, of women. And those women, and what they are, they're hyper consumers. They are hyper consumers. And if you look at and if I guarantee you, if you look at his analytics on that show, there's going to be that woman from 25 to 40, and they're I'm not going to say they're the highest earners, but they're in comparison to a lot of other women, they probably earn a little bit more. And those women are hyper consumers, and they will spend money like when the lady called and she was talking about a consultation. She was going to do a consultation with Kevin Samuels. Those consultations are not cheap. They're not cheap at all. Those ladies will pay. You got ladies that will pay $100, $150 for nails 4 times a month. You'll have ladies that pay $250, $300, 3 or 4 times a month on hair. They're insane when it comes to spending, and he's tapped in to that demographic. Whatever sauce, whatever thing that he has going, is resonated with that. And from a marketing perspective, it is gold. I mean, I can't imagine the ad revenue that he's getting in between his spots. Like when he does a a 4 hour or 3 hour show, not only is he getting a lot of cash apps and I mean, and subscriptions and all those type of stuff, the ad revenues has to be ridiculous. You know, you want like a Revlon, you want like a you know, like those women's brands. You want Coach and then those lifestyle products, Mercedes Benz and all that, because they pay big money. And and those hyper consumers, those type of women that always seem to live above their means or whatever, they're always looking for those high income earners. And the whole keyword of high value, a lot of those lifestyle brands will advertise on that page. So he's probably getting a lot of ad revenue, from Gucci and those type of. I don't know if they do Facebook, but I'm sure the ad revenue that he's getting is ridiculous because he's able to tap in to those type of people. Let me read some of these things. Kevin got most success being real. I mean, real that yeah, being created a character. Talking about Doctor Fake Pro Black. Oh yeah, that guy's a fucking clown. He's a fucking clown, and the thing about it is he can't do what Kevin does. He tries to replicate it, but he can't do it. Um, um, Kevin uses a script that can't be really replicated because he runs a balance of being brutally honest, but also being very respectable at the same time. A lot of people don't, you have like those emotional characters like was it Jason Black or whatever. He can't do that shit. I mean, all he gets is hood rats that come in there and they want to argue with him and they want to argue him down. Uh, a lot of the women that call Kevin Samuels, they're actually some of them I really believe are looking for constructive criticism, and he can't do that. He can't really do that. The only other person that used to have that lane, and like you guys hear this first. I will put any amount of money. The person, fucking greedy ass motherfucker, is Tariq Nasheed. I will guarantee you, Tariq Nasheed is going to put his bid in this market right now because I think he was one of the originators of that shit. But he's seen all the success that Kevin Samuels is doing organically because a lot of the shit that he got is paid, is funded. A lot of those things is funded. I think Kevin is organic, but Tariq Nasheed is going to come for Kevin. I will put any amount of money on it. You guys heard it first. They say she's not pretty enough for a high value man, but if she got with a low value man, she had a baby and broke up, then men would say she had chosen better. No, I don't think he said that she couldn't get with a high valued man. He said, and you gotta. I mean, that's the thing is like I don't understand how people don't. You listen to something and you take it out of context, just because it's not just like you wanted to hear it. You can't really take it out of context. He said that high value men tend not to date average looking women, which is true. If you're a six-figure earner and you make money, you have usually a lot of options. Typically, you want to date in the upper echelon of looking women, like you want to date the models or the whatever. It's like you when you have a higher income, you have options. Especially if you're in the 35 to 40 range where a lot of men are starting to hit their peak. You know what I'm saying? They are looking for single, women probably in their 20s and good looking, good shape, with no kids. With a 13-year-old man, I mean, with a 13-year-old boy, it like I'm saying, it like if she could get a high, what do you call a high value man if she was willing to date like maybe like somebody like 45, 45, 50 or something like that. She even said that. She was like, well, um, they tend to date younger guys. I mean, like younger women. They tend to date younger women, which is true. She is. It's a hard conversation. Like, but if you look at that lady, their stature, she said her body. Um, Answer this question: do you think that she is really willing to date, like you know what I'm saying, like Larry from the city that makes 90 grand, you know, or Timothy in IT that makes 150 grand, but he's a freaking nerd. He's a nerd. You know, he doesn't go out and here. Do you really think that lady of that type of stature would want to date that guy? You know, no, she probably doesn't. You know, it is what it is. Tariq is ratchet, so he can't compete with. No, he can't compete with Kevin Samuels, but you're going to see. But Tariq is very strategic, and you see it. He's like a snake. What he's gonna, I mean, I can already tell you what his playbook is gonna be. He's gonna try to. He's gonna start taking shots probably at Kevin. He's gonna find a way to. He's gonna find a way to engage with Kevin. Probably he's gonna front. He's gonna probably make it like he's trying to work with Kevin, or he's supporting Kevin, or some type of shit like that. And then there's gonna be a fallout. You know, he's gonna make a. You know, it's gonna be a fallout. Then he's gonna start making a moist, like, you know, you're gonna call Kevin moist. He's gonna have a whole thing. He's done it with every, like, anybody that gains a lot of popularity, like especially in the manosphere or one of those spaces. Tyreek is usually going to gun for him. He's going to gun for him. He definitely. I mean, he's going to be on his radar, and you'll see. I mean, it might not happen this month. It's going to happen. Like, just like when Yvette Carnell, them, you know, they started making headway with the ADOS thing. Him and Tone Talks. Guess what? He went after them. Dr. Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson got really popular on on social media. Guess what? Tariq had a war with him or whatever, took him down. Um, who else? Uh, he didn't really take down Watkins. Watkins kind of fell back, but they had a little kerfuffle or whatever. Who else? You name it. Oh, Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy Sotomayor. You remember Tommy Sotomayor? You know, he got real big, and then guess what? Tariq had a whole campaign. Um, the fact that Kevin Samuels is getting like, I think he's getting like 4,000 people on his live stream or whatever. I mean, it's. I mean, from a marketing perspective and a revenue perspective, it's a lot of people can't really do that on a consistent basis, on a consistent night in and night out. He's doing that. He's doing that. I mean, there's even a lot of white commentators can't really do that lane that he's in. That they can't even mess with that lane that he's in. You know, a lot of white dudes can't even do that. And you know, and unfortunately, there's always one nigga at a time. One nigga at a time, and you know, because of, I guess, Kevin's stature and his demeanor and um, his whole thing, I think he's going to be an easy target. And I'm just saying he's going to be an easy target because I don't think he will engage in the ratchetness, you know. And there are going to be people that, I mean, look at the fucking hood, like the hood boogers. This, like, all those bitches are already coming from him. China Fox and, you know, those dirty assholes, uh, Cynthia G and all those, man, they're already coming for his ass. Come on, man. You know, the ratchetness, the ratchets are really gonna come from. You already know what it is. You see Morse Watkins. You know, you see him. He's already, you know, taking little shots at him and shit like that. Uh, Umar is Cuban now. Oh man, Umar Johnson, man. Shout out to Umar Johnson, man. Y'all niggas need to lay off my boy, man. Man. I'm a descendant. I'm a descendant. I'm a descendant. Y'all need to lay off of Umar, man. Let that man live, man. Let that man live. You know, let that man live. But I think he's Kevin is. You know, people are riding. You know, that's the downside of fame is you're gonna have a lot of clout chasers. Uh, I've already seen a couple of YouTube people, um, you know, trying to clout chase him a little bit, um, which is expected. You know, he's expected, and I see, just people, I mean, the high value, um, what do you call it? The high value tag has been used so much, and you see all these people. You have all these different people. Man, you have all these different people, um, like mirroring his videos, pretty much. Like, uh, you see all these people who's mirroring his videos, waiting for his topic, waiting to do reviews for his video, all this type of stuff. And I'm not saying that's clout chasing, but you can already see that he's making a lot of headway, especially in the the manosphere, that space. You know, for some reason that the manosphere has it's for a minute there, it was getting very angry. It was getting very angry. It was getting very um, delusional, kind of. You know, a lot of and the reason I say it was delusional, a lot of the guys on there felt like they could shame these women and shame because there's no shaming. Like somebody said, like women don't feel shame. I mean, they don't feel guilt. Some of them feel shame, but a lot of times they don't. They don't really care. They don't really care. They don't really care. They're just. I mean, it's just in their nature. I mean, if they decide that they want to crush you, they're gonna crush you. And they. I was watching. Somebody did a review of Cynthia G's video where she had a whole bunch of birds clucking, like it was like a big cluck fest. Um, I can't. I wonder if the cocktails with Queens start clucking on it yet. They're gonna cluck cluck big time on that shit. Oh my god, they're gonna cluck cluck. But the raggedy bitches from YouTube, Cynthia G and like some fucking horse face, uh, you know, those bitches, they were cluck clucking. They were just cluck clucking it up, cluck clucking it up. They were using like these fucking terms, dog. This shit was crazy. These bitches were clucking and saying that Kevin Samuels has been conquered, or whatever. There were I don't even know. They 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 inferred that he was gay 100 times. You know, the black woman playbook. If you don't like her fuckery, guess what? You gay. You gay. You gay. You gay. You insecure. You gay. You you know you're afraid of the white man, or you want to be white, or you're a colorist, or you don't like black women, you don't like this, you don't like that. It's like the whole playbook, and they're gonna keep clucking because unfortunately, them clucking, all of them clucking, will get them a lot of attention. They'll get a lot of sympathy. They'll get a lot of attention by clucking against uh, Kevin Samuels. Like you're gonna see a whole bunch of cluck fest. Shira Seven, she's probably gonna start clucking. Um, who else? Cynthia G was clucking. Chrissy Carazine, she's been clucking a long time about Kevin Samuels, but I don't even know all the big ones like the Swirlers. The Swirlers, they were clucking because he was going off on somebody. Oh no, Precious. They were clucking on him for a while. But who else? I don't even know, man. But Jamel Hill, she's clucking, like clucking like a big chicken. Oh, you gay. You gay. How can you say that? You gay. You insecure. You insecure. You insecure. Oh, you gay. In the big broads, the only thing that can derail Kevin is with one of those white women, Karen gets offended. But he hasn't really, that's the thing he has to watch out for. He needs to watch out because I feel that Karen will call up the show. Some Karen is going to call up the show. And if he gets Karen and he offends Karen, he makes Karen cry, or he makes like one of those blonde, those like maybe a blonde swirler that wants to find a Tyrone or whatever, or oh yeah, I'm trying to think of the dangers, um, or his deadliest poison. You know who that is? That's gonna be um, that's gonna be Keisha, but it's really Kevin. You know what I'm talking about? One of them. One of them. If they make it on the show, kids, you got to be very careful. Hey, Kevin, you better start checking Adam's apples because if one of them gets on the show and you start giving them advice, and then all of a sudden they start hitting social media or whatever, you offend one of them, and then you get the alphabet boys behind. I mean, after you. Um, oh boy, and you better tread lightly too, man. You better stop, denouncing, the alphabet boys because because they're gonna get mad if you don't want to claim them. Especially if everybody putting you already out there, that you are a part of that community. So you better watch out, Kevin, because they're coming for you, man. It's gonna happen. You know, watch some of those watch some of those snakes too, man. That you be, helping out and you be giving clout to, man, because they're ready to take your position too. Yeah. These YouTube streets, boy, especially the Manosphere, man, them bitches don't even play. They don't fucking play, man. So you better watch some of those guys. But the Alphabet Boys and the clucking, um, level up broads and the swirlers. Ooh boy, you got your work cut out for you, man. They finna come after you. But I think the next, I'm making a prediction. The cocktails with the quines. Lisa Ray, Lisa Ray. Oh my God, over the fucking hill. Oh shit, like god damn, boy. You get one of those Vivica A, boy. Vivica A, Lisa Ray. What's the other one? Shanita Johnson or whatever her name is. I don't even know what the hell. Is it 4 o'clock? I mean, but I don't know. Four old ass broads. Oh my god, they finna get your ass. I mean, Foxo. Oh man, they finna get your ass, Kevin. They finna get your ass, man. I don't know if you're gonna be able to survive this shit. They you know, shit. Ice Cube is 100 millionaire, and they got him a little bit. They poked some holes in him. You know, they, they stabbed him a couple times, but they wasn't able to defeat him. Um, one thing on the internet, boy, I'll give you this. I'll give them this. The fucking black women are undefeated. Like when it comes to the internet, they will not take no loss. The only other people that don't take no loss on the internet is the alphabet boys in the alphabet community and the fucking Karen. And if you but I think you know what? Now I gotta take that back. I think Karen them like this type shit. They love this type shit. They love black dysfunction. So they might keep him. They might keep Kevin afloat. I don't think. What do you guys think, man? Do you think Karen them going come after Kevin, or the alphabet boys will definitely come after him? I mean, but do you think Karen and all them gonna come after him? Um, Jamel Hill them. I mean, that was a given. But do you think Karen and Dr. Phil, like those type of simp ass, or oh no, Steve Harvey, Derek Jackson, Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey's, they might be able to hit Kevin. Oh no, those niggas. Oh jeez. Oh no, I'm live. You think the Derek Jacksons? You think they're gonna be able to hit? I don't know, man. That's gonna be an interesting development right there. But anyways, man, I'm gonna let you guys go. Hey, man, thank you guys for. Make sure you guys like the stream, man. Make sure you guys like the stream. I gotta get out of here, man. Got on my walk. The stream was a little bit longer than I thought it was gonna be. You know, I got flowing. You already know what it is, man. I'll let your boy Triple Black. Make sure you guys like that, man. Shout out to King Dorian. Shout out to is it OG? You already know what it is. Yeah, most people are average. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, man. I like your boy.